Welcome to parents, guardians, and students who want to learn about Teachassist. I hope this information video finds you well. At its core, Teachassist is a marks management tool used by teachers which has quickly evolved into a student success engagement platform. It's not about just gathering and using data electronically, but the ability to communicate it effectively to various parties and be responsive to it. Students and parents can gain access to the recorded marks and assessment data online from any web-enabled device or platform. Depending on the level of visibility set by the teacher, students will have access to detailed information about their assessments in the course, as well as descriptive feedback to their assessment tasks, proving insight into their achievement. Teachers also have the ability to email the detailed information about their children's assessments as well as their attendance habits. To access Teachassist online, log on to ta.yrdsb.ca using any web-enabled device. You will need your child's student number, which is the username, and password. You can obtain this information from your child or from your child's teacher upon request. The main page has a listing of all of the students' courses. There are different settings that the teacher may use. If the current mark is showing, then you will be able to see all the students' assessment marks as well as their overall term mark or final mark. If the mark reads "click here," then you will be able to see all the students' assessment marks but not their overall term mark or final mark. If the mark reads, "Please see teacher for current status regarding achievement in the course," then the teacher has currently turned off all access to the marks online. To see the marks for the course that you are able, click the link in the marks column, here, here, or here. The link takes you to a listing of all the students' assessment marks for that course. But before we go there, I would like to review something. Students' marks are broken down into the term mark, which is 70% of their final mark. This counts assessments such as tests, quizzes, assignments, etc. And their summative mark, which is 30% of their final mark, and this counts assessments such as culminating assessments and exams, etc. The term mark is broken down into the 4 achievement chart categories. They are knowledge and understanding, thinking and inquiry, communication, and application. Now I will show you what it looks like when you click on one of the course links. Marks in the first 4 columns belong to one or more of the categories and count towards the term mark, which is worth 70% of the student's final mark. The marks show how the student performed on each assessment as well as the weighting for each mark within each category. Assessments which show no weight are not counted in the student's term mark or final grade. Other assessments show the amount that the item is weighted as. The higher the weighting, the more the item is worth. When looking at weightings, compare them to the other marks within the same category. Assessments which show a red box means the student did not write that assessment. It means either that the assessment has not yet been marked, or perhaps if it was a quiz, for example, then the student might have been absent and did not write the assessment. Assessments which show a gray box means that the student's mark was removed from Teachassist. All assessments which show a gray or red box are not counted towards their overall term mark. It is important to know that they are not zeros. Any marks shown in the last column, which is the gray column, are not counted in one of the 4 categories. They will typically be an assessment in the summative category, which is worth 30% of the final mark. Underneath the marks are analysis graphs. These graphs show the progress of the student over the course of the semester within each category. The graphs on the left show the progress in the assessments that have a weighting of 0, which are called assessments for learning. The graphs on the right show the progress in the assessments that count towards the mark, which are called assessments of learning. At the bottom, you will see the student's term mark in a green box. If there have been any summative assessments, you may also see the overall course mark in a gray box. Underneath the mark is a chart which shows the breakdown of each category. The weighting column shows how each category is weighted and is out of 100%. The course weighting column converts these percentages to be out of 70% instead to represent the term mark. The other 30% comes from the summative mark. The student achievement column shows how the student is performing in each category. The rows chart below the table is an illustration of the student achievement column. This concludes the portion of the video which covers what you will see on the website. I will now briefly go over what you will see in an email from the teacher through Teachassist. The email may include at the bottom the student's attendance record in that class so far. The email may also come with an attachment called the Individual Student Report and will look like this. At the top, you will see the student's name, age, course, date, and teacher. The category weightings box again shows the breakdown of each category, first as a percent out of 100, and again as a percent out of 70. Now we'll go to the assessment and evaluation box. The assignments are broken down into the different units. The numbers in the assignment column show 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.8, and they represent the mark number. That is, 2.8 is the 8th mark in Unit 2. You will see that it appears as if the mark numbers jump. That is because the marks in each category are numbered, and the number in the assignment column is simply the beginning of each row. If we take a look at the actual marks, the first part is the assessment mark. For instance, 9 out of 10. The second part is what the assessment is weighted as, so this assessment has a weighting of 0. Your attachment may or may not come with the analysis and rows graphs. An additional graph is the mark trend graph. It shows the same thing as the graphs above, but this time the categories were combined for each assessment that counts towards the mark. The numbers at the bottom represent the assessment number. For example, assessment 3.3 was the linear relations test. The dot represents the total mark for the linear relations test with all categories combined. I hope you found the tutorial informative and answers any questions you may have about Teachassist. If not, please do not hesitate to contact one of the student's teachers. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.